YouTube, it's your girl Razia J, and I'm back with another video. If this is your very first time landing on my channel and seeing my face, welcome. Glad that you are here. And if you have been rocking with Ray, thank you so much for your continual support. As always, it means the world to me. And if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, I ask that you take a moment today and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, leave me a big thumbs up and a comment down below letting me know what you liked about it, or just letting me know anything, or a word of encouragement, or a heart. I love hearts. This video is all about what it means to attend a social work program online. So as you guys know, I am a graduate student at Fordham University Graduate School of Social Service, and I am in a 100% online program, and I do remote internship as well. So everything that I am doing for this particular degree is online. So I wanted to come in really quickly to just let you guys know a few pros, cons, and just my thoughts on being in an online program. If you are considering the field of social work, there are a ton of online programs out there if you are into the flexibility of having the ability to do other things and go to school, because graduate school classes in person, they tend to fall in the evening and the schedules are a little bit weird. So if you are looking for flexibility, I would say that that is one of the first cons that I would say for going to school online, is that there is really a lot of flexibility depending on the type of program you are in. So if you are in a program that is online and has no asynchronous courses, and that program is module based, which means that it's basically you teach yourself, and you might have a professor who grades your stuff and you just do discussions and assignments, then that program will give you 100% flexibility to do whatever you want to do, because you do your schoolwork at a time that works best for you. My program at Fordham University is an online program, but we do have scheduled class times. So if you went to work during the week and you wanted to be in my particular program, you will probably have to take your classes on Saturday mornings. And those classes start at 8 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, it's not for me. So one of the first pros about being in an online MSW program is that it is super flexible. I work my schedule around my school schedule, but I still have the flexibility to do other things with my family members. I can still go on vacation. I can still travel. As long as I get my work done and I attend my asynchronous classes when I have to attend them, it is pretty flexible. Another pro of going to an online program is that if you are a person who gets distracted easily, like I am, I get distracted easily. If I am in a classroom setting, if I am in a social setting, I am going to talk to the people around me, and I may not retain as much information as I am retaining in an online program, because I will be distracted by everything going on, whether it's the professor, whether it's a fellow classmate, whether it's someone in the hallway. I get distracted easily. So I think that was a pro for me doing an online program. The third thing that I would say is a pro of being in an online program is sometimes online programs can cost significantly less compared to a brick and mortar in-school program if you are going to a school that has traditional in-person classes. I don't think that that is the case for Fordham, but in some universities that is the case. Another pro that I have found just in being in an online graduate program is that I have the ability to look over things over and over. And I think that if you are in a regular brick and mortar classroom, once you sit for a lecture, unless you're able to record that lecture, you cannot go back and listen to anything. But for us, because our setting is an online setting, our lectures are pre-recorded, and then our asynchronous classes is like kind of like our Q&A, where we give feedback, we communicate with the professor, and it's like a live setting just to make that community in that cohort, to help us foster community. Our asynchronous lectures are readily accessible. So for me, I can always go back and look at notes. And if I forgot something, I can go back and watch the lecture. And that was a benefit for me. And for other people, who may have a full-time job, going to school online gives you the ability to go to school, right? Without having to put it off or having to quit your job. You can go to school and go to work and get it all done. So that is the pros. Some of the cons that I would say in an online program is burnout, because staring at a computer screen can burn you out. It can give you fatigue. I think that one of the things that I struggle with, especially in this online program, is just the amount of modules and lectures I have to listen to and falling asleep while I'm listening to them. So there's a level of fatigue that comes with having to do everything online and everything on a computer screen. One of the second things that I would say is a con, or can be a con, is that you don't get to get involved with your local school. You do not get to get involved with associations and clubs and student government. And if those are things that you are looking for, being in an online setting might not work for you, right? Because in order to engage with these clubs in an online setting, you have to be super intentional. Like, you have to look up the faculty chair, you have to send emails, you have to plug yourself in, because sometimes it's easier to communicate with someone who is on campus and able to do boots on the ground work versus someone who is in the virtual space somewhere. Another con that I would say for going to an online program is that you don't really get to have colleagues when you leave school unless you are intentional about it. So unless you are making friends, unless you are talking to people in your class outside of the class time, you're gonna just go to school, do your work online, and just do everything in a little bubble and not really have community. And I think that for some people that might be a struggle, right? Making community online in a virtual space takes a certain amount of talent. It takes a certain amount of skill. It takes a certain amount of just like, I can do this, that some people don't think they have. And if they are in a virtual space, they can get lost. So unless you are someone who can carry your own in a virtual space, you can get lost. And I would say another con is that you don't know what's going on in the school. I know a lot of people say, like, how do you know what's going on? How do I get involved? How do I know about scholarships? How do I know about X, Y, and Z? And because they're in an online space, they feel like it's just them and the computer screen, and the school doesn't really matter. And I can see that as a con for someone if you need a scholarship, or if you want to know how to get grants, or if you want to be like a research assistant and you're not on top of your game, you'll just get lost. And now I'm just going to share like my take on it. Like, I am in an online program and I am enjoying it, but I am also a person who is social. Whether that's in person or that is online, I am a sociable person. So I was able to curate a space that was comfortable enough for me, and a space that gave me the community that I wanted. So I do have community. I am part of the activism committee. I do attend the Black Caucus meetings. So I'm doing things that is plugging me into my school without me necessarily having to be in Manhattan, if that makes sense. And I think that online graduate programs, it just gives you the flexibility to just focus on school and not get distracted if you are a person that's easily distracted like me. And I think that going to school online also showed me how resilient I am, and how much I can push myself to do my best, and how I can also push myself to procrastinate a little bit more than I would if I was in a traditional school setting. The one thing that I would say about the program at Fordham is that although it's online, it has a lot of structure. It's not like an online program that you do what you want and you have things due once a week. It's a lot of structure. Like, your asynchronous work has to be done. You have live sessions. For field, you have field meetings. So it's an online program, but there's a lot of live things that you have to attend in order to graduate. So that is my take. I think for me, going to Fordham for graduate school was the perfect choice. I do have friends that are in other online programs, and they are just doing their own thing and trucking along, and it's working out for them. But I think for me, going to Fordham and just seeing that online doesn't mean separated, isolated, and alone was really a good thing. So if you are considering an online program, one of the things that you can do is make sure that you get into a program that you believe will answer and fit the needs that you have for yourself. And make sure you look at the setup, right? So if it's a completely online program with no live sessions and no like async stuff, it's just like discussions and assignment, is that something that you're looking for? Or are you looking for something that is online but has like a hybrid presence? And I think that once you figure out what type of online student you want to be, it definitely pays to apply to programs that has that structure that you are looking for. And another thing I would say is that I feel like a lot of online programs gives you the ability to go to a school that you may not have access to if you did not live in that state. So for instance, if someone wanted to go to Harvard and they had an online program, as long as you get into the program, then you have access to a university that you may not have had access to if you did not live in that state. So I think that's another plus and pro for online programs, is that you can live anywhere in the United States and attend a program anywhere, as long as you have access to it and you get into the program. And if you are in a program that has an internship or an apprenticeship, these online programs usually have a department that helps secure a placement for you, whether that is remote or in person. They have a department that helps find you a practicum that will work for you. So online doesn't mean that you are isolated, and it doesn't mean that you're doing the whole program by yourself, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to get an amazing quality of education. So until next time, if you are considering an online program, do your research. And what are you waiting for? Apply already. Have a great day. And as always, you are worth it.